7 years ago, I was in my kitchen pregnant with 2 kids at home, mixing hair products by my hand, using my last bit of savings in my account and just praying that the vision God gave me will work. I had no investors, 0 investors, no big funding, just faith, y'all, just faith. And today, Strands of Faith is a multi-million-dollar brand. We've shipped to over 50,000 customers across 30 countries, and our products are even now in hospitals. But let me tell you, the faith journey, it was not easy by far. There were tears, there was doubt, there was nights that I was flat out exhausted, overwhelmed, and wondering, frankly, how I was gonna keep going. But then there was also my faith, okay? So I'm gonna take you back to the beginning because this is the story of how God took a little bit of mustard seed faith that I had and built something that I never could have imagined. And if you've ever doubted what God can do with a little bit of faith, then this story is for you, okay? Keep the faith. So yeah, I wasn't planning to start a hair care brand. That was not in my plan and my goals at all. But on August 23rd, 2017, God gave me a vision. And when he gave me that vision, sometimes when he gives us visions, it feels random, but it's never ever random. It's hardly ever random. And so I remember the scripture, write the vision, make it plain, though it tarries, wait for it because it will surely come. And so, I didn't know exactly what this vision would become, but I wrote it down. I trusted God. I acted on it. And I trusted that he was going to bring it to pass in his perfect timing. And so this is the story of how Strands of Faith was started. He gave me the idea, seemingly out of the middle of nowhere. However, I was always passionate about natural hair and encouraging women on their journey. I returned natural in 2006. That was my very first time ever seeing my natural hair sprouting out from my roots because I had been relaxed my entire life. I got relaxers my entire life. And so I was 19, I think in college when I decided to transition back. And so when I transitioned back to natural, I started an Instagram account where I was documenting my journey. So I would post different hairstyles, little style tutorials. And then I started to build a community that way of other women who were new to, the natural hair journey, and they were inspired and wanting to start their own journeys. And so I was just like, yeah, girl, come on, return natural. It's the best thing you ever did. You're going to feel liberated. All those things. I was on fire because for me, it was almost like turning a new leaf. I was stepping into a person that I didn't know, that I had never experienced before. And it was just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful thing to me because I felt like I was in control. Cutting my hair, I was in control. And so it was just amazing. And so I was very passionate about the natural hair side. And so when he gave me the idea, I thought it was kind of interesting because it literally was passion meeting purpose. I always tell people my entire journey and story was one of passion meeting purpose. And so I was like, okay, what can I bring to the industry? What is missing in the industry if I'm going to start a hair care brand? And through my own experience, I had a hard time finding clean, effective products that work specifically for textured hair. And textured hair historically has been very underrepresented, underserved, especially even, back then, which doesn't seem too long ago, but even then we didn't really have people who were intentional about serving us. And so I went with a texture first approach where I was representing and catering to people who were, have kinky textures, coily textures, curly textures, just tighter coiled strands, textured hair, just in general, that generally is left out. And so I was like, that's the audience that I want to target, and that's who I want to cater to. And then they also have products that's on the shelves that have all of these chemicals, all of these fillers, and watered down ingredients, basically, and that when you put them on your hair, the reason why so many of our hair was feeling dry even after we had products on it, you know, the next day or two it's feeling dry, is because of all of the fillers and the empty, you know, cheap ingredients in it. And so I was like, no, I want to create clean products. I want them to be effective, mean they work and that the moisture lasts. And I want them to be, you know, for textured hair, like this underrepresented community. And so I was like, okay, God, you know, you had the recipe together, you was cooking over here, and you already knew what you was doing, and you know, knew that you was gonna bring this all together, and that when you gave me the idea, it was gonna all just come effortlessly together, which now that I look back, it felt so effortless. It felt so effortless. And so, yeah, so that's why, you know, I started Strands of Faith, and I was like, that's what he gave me. And so clean, effective products to an underrepresented community. But y'all, but it goes even further than that, okay? Because when he gave me Strands of Faith, I knew from the start that I did not want it to just be a hair care brand. I wanted it to be so much more over and beyond just hair care. I wanted it to be a brand that uplifts your spirit, that was motivating, that was encouraging, that encouraged people to step up and show up as the best versions of themselves. I was somebody who had experienced like a ton of adversity and challenges and all types of things in my life. And I knew like how I felt when I was in those valleys and when I was facing all of those things. And for me, the one thing that kept me going when I was in my lowest, when I was at the bottom, when I was in the valley, you won't guess it. Go ahead and guess it. I just want to see if you can guess it. Comment below and tell me what kept me going. If you guessed my faith, then my friend, you're absolutely right. It was my faith that kept me going. It was my faith that kept me pushing. It was my faith that gave life an extra stab. It was like, okay, you know, maybe I can work this thing out and figure it all out. It was my faith that kept me. And so when I started the business, it was a no-brainer that faith was a gift. I see faith as a gift. It was a gift, you know, that was giving it to me, that belief. And that's the gift that I wanted to give other people. Because I'm like, if this little thing is so powerful that it can save my life, what more can it do to other people if they experience it? And if they just increase their level of faith, and if they increase their belief in themselves, what could it do for their lives? And so I was like, yeah, you know, this is what this company is about. Like, yes, we serve hair products. That's what we're in the service to do. But it's so much bigger than that. It's about just really holistically encouraging and building up the entire person. You know, your hair is just a part of you, but then what about your spirit? Like, what about how you feel inside? Like, what about the things that you need to keep going on a daily basis, that mental, you know? So I knew Strands of Faith was going to be so much more than just hair. And that's kind of how that piece came together. What do you think is the most ideal standard of beauty when it comes to hair?
Oh, wow. Well, probably my wife has long black hair. And that's I mean, she's the most beautiful person in the world to me. So that's who I look for you know. So she's the standard of beauty.
Standard.
Yes.
I love it.
So, yes.
Absolutely love it. Texturism. What is texturism? Why, when you hear the word texturism, how would you explain it?
I would think maybe if you're talking about hair,
yeah,
maybe you're talking about the texture of your hair, whether it's soft or frizzy or long and straight or whatever. So
well, texturism is actually hair type discrimination. So it's actually when certain hair textures like kinkier or coily, like locks, braid, are seen as like less desirable or just discriminated against, which you wouldn't believe that would be a thing, right?
I wouldn't think so. But
right.
It is. So.
Yeah, it is. And so we, of course, believe that all strands are beautiful.
Sure,
all strands should be celebrated. Like everybody, I mean, God created us in his
image,
right?
So.
All of us, your strands are beautiful.
Absolutely.
My strands. And so that's kind of the whole premise of it.
Right.
And are you familiar with the Crown Act?
The Crown Act?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So the Crown Act is a law that prohibits hair type discrimination, in the workplace and in the schools and all those places.
Great. So.
And we don't yet have it implemented in the state.
Oh, wow.
Our beautiful state.
Yeah, well, it sounds like we need to get it appointed here. So nobody should be discriminating against somebody because of their hair.
Yeah.
You shouldn't. So,
yeah. And you're a state? You went to state?
I did go to state. So
okay.
State. Matter of fact, I was following you and they honored you up there for your...
Yeah.
and everything. No, you're on my list. I'm like cheering for you the whole way. So,
thank you so much. So, Strands of Faith is about serving the entire person. Just like when you care for your damaged hair, you have to believe in the products that you're using, and you have to trust the process. Nurturing your hair strand by strand until it's restored and healthy again. And then those damaged strands, they regain their strength. Your faith grows. Your faith grows stronger in your hair care routine and your products too. And that's the same in life. Every challenge that we face tests our faith each and every single day, but we build it back up one strand at a time. Like a cord of 3 strands that's not easily broken, the more strands of faith that we weave into our lives, the stronger we become. And it's all about perseverance, never giving up, no matter how tough things may get, because faith is built strand by strand, one strand at a time, So Strands of Faith, it's about serving the underrepresented, uplifting people, inspiring confidence through faith. Like, our mission has always and will always be bigger than just hair products. And I'm just so grateful that, God allowed me to service the world in this space. And I almost forgot to share this with y'all, our mustard seed story, because this is such an important part of our brand and what it stands for. So if you've ever ordered from us, you know that we include a mustard seed with every order, because faith the size of a mustard seed can and will move mountains. Okay. So, seeing those seeds go out in every order, that's like absolutely the best part of my day. And it gets even better when y'all reach out and let us know how that one seed has impacted your life. The mustard seed is a reminder to you and to me that you don't need to have it all figured out. You just need a little faith to keep going. That's it. All you need is a little bit of faith. And that's what, I've leaned on every step of the way on this journey, just a little faith, like literally one step at a time.
You see this package? This package brought tears to my eyes yesterday. Literally. I kid you not. Okay. It's by a company called Strands of Faith. It's actually made by a Black scientist. And I just was like, let me try them out. And I tell you now, my curls is really popping under here, but I'm not done, so I'm not going to show you guys. But that's not the important part. What's important is what's in this package. Okay. So when I was cleaning up, I was actually going to throw this package away because I'm like, okay, I already took the product out. But man, I'm so happy I did not throw it away, because if I start crying, y'all, just don't even mind me. Do you understand what this is? This is a mustard seed. And in here, she puts, may this serve as a reminder that all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed, and you will move mountains. When I tell you guys, this came at a perfect time. Because, man, I needed that. And like, I'm lost for words right now. I'm just lost for words. So, yeah.
And what's so powerful is that, like, when I look back over my life, I see that God was planting seeds all along. Like, even back then when I didn't realize it. Like, every experience, every skill, every challenge, like, it was all preparation for what I'm doing right now. And that's why nothing is ever wasted. Like, nothing is ever wasted. Oh, y'all, God is good. But I need to tell y'all how this all came full circle. So I went to undergraduate at Mississippi State University. Hell State, go Bulldogs, woo, woo. I got a double bachelor's in biological science and microbiology with a minor in psychology. And at the time, I assisted the doctoral students in the forestry department with upgrading chemical and physical properties of bio oil and degrading it in ways so that it could be used for diesel fuel in gasoline. And so after that, I went to the University of West Georgia and got my master's in business administration. Mind you, at the time, I had zero interest in business. I never knew that I was going to start a business, zero desire to start a business. I just love learning, which I later learned was a trauma response because, I was immersing myself in education and in learning as a way to feel in control. Because, like I told you, the adversities and things I've went through, various things throughout my life, I found that achieving and being ambitious was a way that I could kind of repress those things and be a little bit more in control of my life because, I had the control. And so that was kind of like my outlet. And so that was the only reason why I got an MBA. Like, I didn't get an MBA with plans to start a business. Like, I literally got it just to add another degree and just to challenge myself. Like, honestly, that's the only reason I got it. But again, that goes to show how God is so full circle, because when I got that MBA back then, he knew that I was going to start a business one day. He knew what the future looked like. He knew what all of that, how it looked. I didn't know, though. That's the caveat. I didn't know, which is funny, looking back. But it was just such a blessing to get that degree, which is crazy because when I think about it, I'm like, girl, like, why were you going to school all this time, racking up all these student loans? And, oh gosh, when I think about student loans, Lord Jesus. Whew, okay. I still got student loans, y'all. That's another topic. I'm believing by faith, okay? I got this far by faith, so I'm believing by faith that, God is going to make a way and those loans are going to be paid off. But anyway, that's the story of how I ended up getting my MBA. But then rewind a little bit. After graduate school, I actually went to UNTHSC, the University of North Texas Health Science Center. And I initially went there to start a program called PrEP, which is the Post-Baccalaureate Research Education Program. And their whole goal and focus is to prep people to be able to go and get their doctorate in like the sciences and the research part. And so as a part of that experience, I was able to work in a cancer oncology research laboratory. And this is where I got my experience with formulating and making things. My project was to develop a nanoparticle delivery system, which goal was to transport the anti-cancer drug valrubicin to target and kill cancer cells while bypassing all the healthy cells. And so I remember, I had to go to the lab all times of night, checking on the formulation, checking on the infusion process. And at the time, I didn't know what the heck I was doing, but it was that exposure and that awareness that was opening up my mind and expanding my mind. And God knew, I didn't know what I was doing, but he knew. And, that whole entire experience is so amazing to think about because that and the forest lab all gave me the exposure that I needed to one day be manufacturing my own products, y'all. You see how this is coming full circle? Like, nobody could have planned this better but God. And so fast forward to now, we manufacture all of our products. I came up with all the formulas myself. Like, these are all the formulas. We own all the formulas. And all of this is thanks to the exposure that I had hands-on back then that I couldn't have even possibly thought of or correlated to today. But that's just how intentional God is. And so when I launched Strands of Faith, I started formulating the products myself in my kitchen. So I was testing them on my own hair. And then when I got the formulas to the level that I like for myself, I started to send them out for feedback and let people, kind of tell me like their thoughts so that I could tweak it, optimize it, and make it better. And so after the whole process, that's when we officially launched in February 2018, which this is our 7th year. Wow, this is our 7th year, God. Yeah, this is our 7th year, y'all. Talking to God too. God, you did that, okay? But this is our 7th year, and it's just so amazing. It's so humbling to look back on and to just think about how good God is and how far he brought us and man, just the intentionality behind it all. And when we launched, one mistake that I did make, well, I don't know if it was a mistake, but I want to share with you as tip for aspiring business owners. So I launched with 6 products. Again, very ambitious. Hindsight, I'm looking at it and I've already connected the two, of why I was so ambitious. But I launched with 6 products, and 6 products is a lot to launch with. I would recommend launching with 1 or 2 products just because it's very it take a lot of time, number one, and a lot of money to launch products. And so the less products you have, the more room you're giving yourself to be a little bit more successful, because you have more resources, more marketing, more time to put into those products. So that is one thing that I did that if I started over, I wouldn't have done. But I'm grateful, that I was able to. And I think the reason why I was able to do that is because I was manufacturing myself, because it's very expensive to start a product business and to go and either contract out a formula, or even if you get like like a private label formula or custom formula. So private label formula, you're just getting formulas that's already made. Maybe you switch up it comes with the base, and maybe you switch up a thing or two. And then a custom formula is one you build from scratch. Well, custom formula is crazy expensive. I think back then when I was doing research, let me see if I can remember. It has to be anywhere between $3,000 to $7,000 a product. Now, this is outdated. Like, this was like 7 years ago, okay? But it was a lot, right? And too much for a small business starting out just on savings. And so that was another reason why I was like, you know what, let me use my gifts and the talent that God gave me and manufacture. But not only that I want to manufacture myself to save, but of course I was in control of the entire process. So I knew what was going in my formulas. I just had complete control. And so just imagine, let's just say if it was $5,000 a product and I launched 6 at a time, that's $30,000 starting out. That's very risky to do if you don't know if a product is going to flop, if it's going to sell, like what the trajectory of that product is going to be. That's very risky. So that's why I suggest launching with only 1 or 2, get your feet wet, get the strategy down, and then rinse and repeat from there. But that don't have nothing to do with my story. I just wanted to include that tip right there for anybody who may be watching it and just curious about the process with the launching. Okay, y'all, I'm back. I had to go and get this ring light and put it right here because I'm filming inside. Well, I'm filming in front of a window. Why am I filming at 5 or 6 o'clock when the sun is going down? I don't know how that was a good idea, but I did it. And here I am pivoting in real time because I don't want to redo this video. So I went and got this ring light and I put it here. So hopefully the quality of my video don't change. Hopefully y'all stick around for the message and the story, but I just wanted to put that in there. Okay, but what I was saying, so I was saying about how the formulation process and how, it was all full circle because like the experience that I gained from the cancer research lab and then the forestry department, it was just, God's plan all the time. He was equipping me 10 or 20 years before I even knew why he was equipping me, why I was even having those experiences. And it just goes to show just how amazing he is and how he truly knows the plans that he has for us. Plans that are created to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us hope in the future. That's exactly what he was doing for me back then when I couldn't see. And sometimes I look back to that time, those times when I was struggling or when I was like mentally depleted and like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do, this and this and that? And he already knew. He had already laid out the plan. All I had to do was be obedient and follow. He was orchestrating my life and putting it together so beautifully. I couldn't see it in the midst when I was in it because you're in it. But when you step back and you look down at something holistically, you can see. And so now 10 to 20 years later, I can see, but I couldn't see it at that time. And that's just why it's just, oh my gosh, like I'm forever in awe of God and his promises and how he show up and just who he is, because he's just such a promise keeper. And I'm just so grateful. But yeah, so back to the story. At the time that, I was launching Strands of Faith, I was actually still working as a clinical research associate. I was traveling 3 to 4 times a week on 4 to 6 flights weekly. Mind you, I had 2 kids at home, and then I was pregnant with my 3rd. And then, after all the traveling, when I come home, I would still have to make orders. I would have to ship products. I would have to do customer service, finances, marketing, like every single thing that a small business has to do when it's just them, right? I had to be resourceful and lean. And when I look back, I honestly don't even see how I did it. Like, I have no words to how I did it. All I know is that God has his hand in it because he absolutely kept me during that time, kept my sanity, okay? Because it was very exhausting. it got to the point where I was like, something have to give. And so I remember, I was about November 2019, but before that, that's November 2019 is when I was giving birth. But before that, I had made the decision. I was like, you know what, after my maternity leave, I'm just going to resign. I'm going to focus on Strands of Faith, go all in. And that's just what it's gonna be. The business had traction. So I was like, okay, let's do this. And so after my maternity leave, that's what I did. I resigned and I went all in on Strands of Faith. That was in November 2019. And
y'all, I am beat. I am tired. This whole entrepreneur life with a full-time career is no joke. Y'all, I'm telling you, like, something's gonna have to give, sooner than later. I'm trusting God. I'm believing him that he's going to make a way out of no way. I'm believing him that he's going to allow me to retire from my career and to work for Strands of Faith full time. And right now all I have is my faith and my hope that he's going to pull through, because this is not doable. I mean, if I can be honest, doing both, it's not doable. And having 2 toddlers, about to birth a 3rd, so to have a newborn baby, 2 kids at home, travel every week for work, and maintain my business, yeah, y'all, something has got to give. Just pray for me. Just pray that God just extend his blessings my way, that he goes before me and make provision. And, and I believe it. I know that he will. But, with 2 or more gathered in his name, and I trust and believe that those of you who have the desire and are willing to pray for me will do so with genuine hearts. I am over it. Hopefully by the time I post the clip of this video, I would have stepped out on faith and retired from my career. Yes, I've set my exit date to be after my maternity leave, and so I'm looking forward to it. I'm just excited, y'all. I just can't do this any longer. The whole working your business while you're working full time, let me just say that in some cases it's possible. Everybody's situation is not the same. So it's one of those things where I would say that you have to evaluate the situation yourself and see what's the most feasible route for you to go, because you'll have people in your ear telling you nonstop, oh, don't leave your job, use your job to fund your business. And then you'll have people say, oh, you need to leave your job tomorrow, that way your business can take off faster and this and that. There's no set way. There's a gray area. For me personally, I do believe in using your job to fund your business. However, not to the point to where working your job is going to prevent or hinder your business from growing beyond your imagination. Like for me, I know for a fact that if I did not have my career in the way right now, my business would be revenue wise triple what it's doing right now. And that's, like I say, everybody's different. That's for me personally. The main thing for me, which makes it so tough, is the logistics of my job. I don't have a 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, where it's easier to kind of like manage your time and you know exactly, okay, I'm going to come home and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that for my business and blah, blah, blah. No, like my job, I have a traveling job. I'm in a new state every single week. And I'm usually gone for maybe about 2 or 3 days at a time. However, when I'm home, I'm working from home. But either way it goes, so it equals 60 to 70 hours a week that I am putting into my career. And so that leaves a little time to work my business. And for me, I just can't grow in that capacity. No matter what anybody says, this is me personally. This is me knowing my life, all the obligations that I have. And so with all of these, obligations that I have, along with trying to juggle a business and a career full time, is not possible. Like you're either going to give it You're all or give it a little bit. And we all know that when you give something a little bit, then what? You're going to get a little bit out of it, right? And so for me, that's why I have mentally prepared. Tentatively, I've set a exit date of the day that I'm going to turn in my notice. Just running in circles. It's stressful. It's a lot. It's a lot. To be honest, if I could quit tomorrow, I would. However, the way insurance is set up and being prego, that wouldn't be the wise thing to do. And so again, like I said, you still have to have a plan. In no way, form, or fashion am I saying to just automatically quit your job. No, this is something that I have been planning. You should have a strategic plan when it comes to anything, when it comes to, scaling your business or leaving your job or anything that's going to require you to go from a place of comfort to a place of the unknown. You should definitely have a strategic plan in place. In the next couple of weeks, I'll be looking at our finances even more to see what can I shave down. To be quite honest, me leaving my job, it's a pretty nice, healthy salary to give up. However, I'm not looking at that. If you look at it that way for too long, it could be a hindrance because you're like, okay, I'm giving up all this money to do this and to step into the unknown, and I don't know. But like I said, I'm going off of faith, y'all. Like I see the seeds that I've already planted a year ago and how they're sprouting. And so I know that removing this one hindrance from my view would allow like a whole garden to just flourish. I was just sitting here doing some work, and I'm not working in my business. Like I can't work in my business right now because I'm working in my job. I'm doing reports and my job is mental. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And so when you're operating at the capacity, you just have to give up one or the other. And hopefully this will turn into a testimony. I just wanted to document my journey and let you guys see the behind the scenes and my thought process. And hopefully by the time it's coming to fruition, I can be jumping for joy. Like I can visualize it. And that's the thing, the power of visualization. Not only do you have to have faith about something, you have to visualize it. You have to see yourself already in that place of what you desire. You have to see yourself kick back in a chair with your laptop out, doing nothing but 100% business work for your business, and your career no longer being a factor in holding you back. Your time being even more flexible. You being able to increase, like I said, your revenue 3-4 times plus. You have to visualize these things. When you visualize it and you believe it, then sooner or later it's gonna manifest. It has to manifest. God wants us to live a abundant life. Abundant life over and beyond what we can think, see, or imagine. And I know for a fact that me being obedient, me stepping out on faith and putting the fear behind, because I can't lie, I'm scared as I don't know what. Like I'm super fearful. However, I'm not operating that fear and I'm not allowing it to hold me back. I have a plan. I'm utilizing wisdom. I'm asking the Holy Spirit to lead me and guide me. And I'm just stepping out on this thing. So we'll see what comes from it. And never give up on your dreams. If God put it in your heart, if you're passionate about something, like so passionate that all you do is wake up, think about it, dream about it, you eat it, you breathe it, then whatever that thing is, you have to go for it like full force. You have to give it your all, and you have to believe that, God is going to come through and see that thing through for you. But it takes action. You have to put that one foot in front of the other and keep doing it until it get easier and easier. But that first few steps will be hard. But if you're passionate about something and you want it, the passion is enough to make you develop the faith that you need to get it done.
And God is so grateful. God is so good because till this day, I've been employed by myself, which when I say employed, I'll tell you a little bit about that later because I didn't start paying myself till later. But I've been self-employed since the day that I resigned. And that's just, saying that out loud right now is just, it just gives me chills because I just never would have imagined that would be the trajectory of my life. I just never could have imagined it. So then when my maternity leave ended, I didn't return to work, and I used that time to just fully dedicate myself, immerse myself into learning, into growing, into, just trying to figure out how I could position and brand for success. I was taking courses, Googling, like everything. I was doing everything, but everything started to align. And, I believe that when we are obedient, God really does order our steps, and he goes before us and makes provision and make a way out of no way. I didn't know what the future held at that time. All I knew was that I was trusting my calling and what he called me to do. And then, 2020 came like a flood, COVID, all the things, all the uncertainty in the world. It was such a crazy, crazy time. Like, it was unpredictable. People didn't know what to expect. Like, it was bananas, right? If you were here during that time, you know exactly what it's like. I don't even have to tell you. But that was also our very first time doing our first $1 million in revenue that year. And it was so amazing because I was like, dang, God, you move fast. Like, it just happened so fast just by being obedient, and then boom, like things shot up. Like, I'm like, only he could do something like that and move at the speed of light like that, And, though it was a tough time in the world, it definitely was a tough time, which was very unfortunate. But, God made provision for us in that season, which I'm just so grateful for. I'm so grateful for. We had over about 700% increase in revenue during that year, which is just crazy to think back. Like, that's something that, of course, every business will want every year. I know that's not sustainable, and that's not likely. It's not impossible, but it's just not likely. But that was just a really, really, really good year. But it does bring me to, I do want to clarify and say this just in full transparency, because I just like to let people know about the journey, like, as I go through the journey myself. And I just want to tell you, just because a business reaches $1 million or more does not mean that they have made it, okay? Revenue does not equal profit. Again, this is just something I just like to share, because sometimes, like, people don't know. And so when you see your favorite brands hitting crazy big revenue milestones, that is not money that is going to the founder's pocket or the individual's pocket. Like, for me, for instance, like SOF and I, like, we are two separate entities. Like, I ain't got it like that, okay? I'm believing God that one day, I will personally become a multimillionaire, but I am not there yet. I'm not there yet, okay? So I just wanted to, say that, because, I always like to paint a clear picture for people who may not understand the business side of things when it comes to revenue, when it comes to profit. And sometimes people really do assume that you're rolling in dough, like when you are really just trying to pay your bills week to week, just like them, And so even after hitting that $1 million milestone, to put it in further perspective, I wasn't even on payroll. I was only taking an owner's draw, and I didn't put myself on payroll, I think, till like that next year. Because I believe that when you're building a business, especially starting out, you should start lean. You should reinvest into the business so that the business can have a leg to stand on, so that you can continue to build and, build yourself in a way to where you can give yourself some space, so you're not totally dependent on the business to start out, because those, I think, are the most crucial years, setting that foundation. And so I didn't want to take away from the business in the form of a salary and, risk hurting the business or stunting the growth or keeping it stagnant. So I didn't take a salary for like my first 2.5 years in business. So yeah, if you have a business, you're starting out, reinvest every red cent back into your business, like, so that you can have a fighting chance. That's something that I did back then, and that's something that I still do, because business ebbs and flows, and you just never know what's gonna happen, okay? And then, speaking of being lean, I just want to take y'all back a little bit, because I didn't mention the faith shed, and the faith shed is a huge part of the story too. Who remember the faith shed? Let me know in the comments if you remember the faith shed. Comment faith shed. Okay, so I shouldn't be getting this excited, but the faith shed, oh, the memories, like, oh my God. So let me tell y'all about the faith shed. So how the faith shed came about is, I was making products in my kitchen, but things became like so overwhelming so fast. Like, our house was covered in products, ingredients, packaging, like every single where, from the hallway, the living room, the kitchen, you named it. I was in the kitchen whipping it up. I was burning myself, spilling products all over the place. And so it got to the point to where, we're out in the kitchen, and I was determined to stay resourceful, and to try to be financially wise. Like, I didn't want to take and get overhead expenses that I couldn't sustain, or, use money that I didn't have. And so I was like, God, come on, like there got to be a way, like, what's the plan? Like, what we doing right here, right? And so that's when he gave me the idea for the Faith Shed. And the Faith Shed, if you know what a she shed is, just like a little, cute little quaint place where you go and chill. That was what my Faith Shed was, right? And so I built the shed in my backyard from scratch, from the ground up, complete with air conditioning. It had storage, workspace, like little shelves. Like the Faith Shed was our mini warehouse. It became our mini warehouse. I stored products there, package orders. I shipped everything directly from there. It was so fun because it was like building a mini Noah's Ark. Like, I was able to design it. I bought the flooring. I painted it. Like, I was really invested. Like I was really invested, and I was so grateful for that little space, y'all. It had to be no more than like 800 or 900 square feet. But that space was everything to me, okay? Everything. And my plan was to stay in the Faith Shed for 2 years before, trying to figure out what to do next. But as God always do, he had other plans. He was just like, you were so faithful and grateful over so little, so I'm going to expedite this process for you. And that's exactly what he did, because in just 9 months, like, the shed was literally bursting at its seams, and we had no choice but to literally move into another place. And so that's when we got our warehouse, our first warehouse, in May of 2020, which now you know what I'm saying, you can probably guess it. What is it called? If you guessed the Faith House, you're right. We got our Faith House. So we packed up all of our stuff from the shed. We moved from the shed to the Faith House. And then the Faith House, it became our manufacturing space, our shipping hub, our headquarters. I was able to get custom shelves built there. Also, and new flooring, and painted the walls, our infamous beautiful green color. It was a faith-filled, fun time. And today has just been phenomenal. I don't know, I can't even put it into words, but I'm sitting outside the Faith House right now. They just finished painting. They have to come back and do some more painting or whatever. But, I was just walking through the halls. I'm going to try to get through this without crying. I'm already starting off wrong, but okay. Whoosah. But anyway, I was walking through through the halls. It just oh goodness. I was going through each room and just looking around, and 2 years ago, God gave me this insane vision, and he gave me an idea that he birthed within me, and I took it and ran with it. I foresaw one day having like a space. I foresaw the growth, but I didn't put a timeline on it. Honestly, I didn't have a certain by date that I wanted things to happen, because I always tried to go with the flow and just let him do what he do. But I don't think I could have foresaw or imagined that it would come into fruition now in the time that it has. Oh my God. I mean, God is just good. God is so good. It's just, I started this thing with just a little faith. That's why I always tell y'all, faith the size of a mustard seed, and I literally mean that. I live that. This is my life. Since the beginning, I've always had a little faith. I couldn't see what was ahead of me. I didn't know. I just had to trust God that he was going to go before me and just pave the way. So I just did what I was passionate about. I tried my best to do it in excellent each step of the way. And
It's like he's turning that little thing into something bigger. Oh my God, like, God is so good. God is so good. Listen, I know y'all see me talk about God this, God that all the time. This is not for show. Like, this is literally my life. I trust God with everything. Like, if it was not for him, I would not be here in this position right now. Crying to y'all and, you know, sharing just part of the journey. Like, there's no way possible I could have done this on my strength alone. It has been all through his strength. And I've always believed that I could do all things through him who strengthened me. And building this business, leaving my career, having 3 kids, being a wife, y'all, it's been hard. I don't have any tissue, but everything that you see that's presented on the other side, I know a lot of people, you know, they think that my company is much bigger than what it is. They think that I have tons of help and people doing this and that, but no, it's been me pretty much from the beginning doing everything. Like, social media marketing, my customer service, making the products, pumping the products. Over time now I have help. You know, now I've been in a position where I'm able to somewhat employ, you know, family and friends to help me out, but I've been just winging this thing, right? I've been winging it, and God has just, I don't know, he hasn't failed me. Like, when they say he would never leave you or forsake you, I mean, that's true. That's completely true. I just wanted to come and share with you guys. It's just amazing. I am sitting outside in front of the Faith House, the SOL headquarters, and watching it all come together, building it out according to my vision. It's just above anything that I could have imagined, anything that I could have thought. Y'all, it takes work to build a business from the ground up, and you just learn it as you go, honestly. And I just want you to know, whatever it is that you feel so passionately in your heart to do, I just want to encourage you to go for it. I mean, the worst case scenario is that you can fail. That's the number one thing that prevents people from taking a leap, is they think about failure. What if I fail? But let me tell you, you cannot think about that. You cannot worry about that, because number one, it takes away from faith. Like, faith and fear can't coexist. That's a real thing. Yes, you will have fear. I mean, that's healthy. You're a human. But it has to come to the point to where you say, okay, I'm going to do this thing afraid. I'm going to do this thing with fear. I'm going to allow my faith to propel me. And I'm just going to trust God, point blank, period. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. That's what you have to do. When I started this company, y'all, to date, I have not had a single investor. I have not taken a single loan, though that may change in the midst, because when you scale, that's a different story. But in the beginning, I used my personal savings, and I used a 0% APR credit card to get this thing going. I didn't pay myself for 2 whole years. I just started paying myself 2 months ago. And you know, I invested in the business over and over, because the vision that he gave me, I knew that there was gonna have to be major sacrifice, you know? And no, I haven't made it yet. Some may think this is premature even sharing this with you, but it's a true testament of faith, because again, I don't know what's ahead of me. I don't know, but I trust a God, I serve a God, and I know a God who does know what's in front of me and what's on the other side. So anyway, y'all, just go for it. Whatever that it is, I just want to encourage you to go for it. So what if you fail 1 time, get back up 10 times, do it over and over and over again until you gain your footing. Do whatever you got to do, okay? But you have to believe in the vision for yourself.
Surround yourself with like-minded, positive, encouraging people who are going to push you towards whatever your dreams and goals are, and just do it. Even if you have to just take this thing by yourself and it's just you and God, listen, you have to do that too, because many times that's been a situation where I have been in. I've just had to drown out any noise and say, okay, God, this is what I would like to do. This is the next step I want to make. Can you approve this? Can you make it happen? And nobody knows about it. So just pray, ask God for guidance, and just do it. Just go for it. Just do it. And this is almost like a plea and a beg, like me begging you, because I know that if you put in the work and if you have faith, like true faith, I don't mean scary faith, I mean whole heart faith, where you go all in and you don't know what tomorrow gonna hold, that type of faith, then he's gonna come through for you in every way imaginable. Anyway, I love you guys and I am rooting for you. And the same thing I was able to do with the Faith Shed, I was able to do with the Faith House. And it kind of reminds me of the story of Amazon and how they started small, I think in like a garage, and then they kind of scaled up. And now we see the behemoth, the huge behemoth that they are now. And oh man, it's just so amazing to think about. That's why I think documenting and just really looking at where you started and where God has brought you from, even if it's not at your final goal, just really helps to even build your faith in the process and help you to keep going. Because to see the from the kitchen to the Faith Shed and now to the Faith House, like that's just so beautiful, like such a beautiful faith journey to see. And I'm so grateful that I get to recap it right now, right here with y'all.
Tell you, I got all my ingredients. This happened yesterday. I got all my ingredients together, ready to roll. Plugged them all up and boom. I'm like, are you kidding me? And I should have known, but of course I wasn't thinking at the time. I was thinking scale. So yeah, the power surge, it couldn't hold it. The power was just too much power. I'm guessing the outlets in the dining room is on 1 amp and one plug is like 20 amps. Well, these induction burners go up to 1800 watts, which is way overload for one. And I had 6 going, 6 trying to go. So yeah, so when that happened yesterday, I was bummed, but I ended up going back to my old fashioned way and just stove in just 2 of the induction burners. But my dad is here today. Inside, no power. So my dad came over, handy dandy carpentry. And he's going to build or add some, what do you call it? You're adding some, so he's adding some 5 circuits and is gonna run it from the breaker in the garage. And I'm just gonna set up shop in garage so that I can make multiple products at one time. Woo woo. There we have it. Explain, what is this?
This here is 5 single plugs. So my daughter to continue with her gorgeous God-given business. I want to make sure she got everything and working proper that she needs. Just a little daddy love to help daughter out.
Hey, I sure appreciate it.
So yeah, so again, a recap, we started in my kitchen, moved to the shed, and now we have the Faith House. Like, where in the world is God going to take us next? Only God knows. Only He knows. But I do know that as we were growing and expanding physically, you know, to new spaces and opportunities, God was also growing us visually, because He had already planned it in my mind to like redesign and enhance Strands of Faith. And so I knew that it was time for the brand itself to be built up too in a new way. You know, I had been using limited resources or what I had, piecing together brand design or what I could afford. And I knew that I wanted something more for my customers and for the experience and everything. And so in 2024, that's when we made the decision to rebrand Strands of Faith to, you know, just give our blessed bees, our customers, a more cohesive, elevated experience. We had always created, with excellence in mind. But now I just wanted our packaging and our presentation to reflect the heart and the quality behind our products. And so during this rebrand, we kept our core colors aligned with our roots that represented like peace, serenity, tranquility, because we wanted our customers to feel that every time they had the products in their hands, that's what they felt. I was able to really go into details with the designs and just really give the brand a voice and a lift, something that was so unique to the brand that just really encompassed who we are. And so if you notice on our packages, we added like these subtle strand patterns in the background of our packaging so that they look like little strands of faith, because everything comes back to our messaging and building faith one strand at a time. We also incorporated different proverbs on the packaging. So you will see a different proverb on each little bottle or jar, because faith and wisdom, like what can you go wrong with faith and wisdom? We started out with Philippians 4:13 on all the products because that was my absolute favorite scripture. Like, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, because I really had to remind myself that on a daily basis to get through life at times. And so, I just thought the Proverbs was a extra nice added touch to it, because we're in the season of wisdom. Like, none of us can never have too much wisdom. So yeah, the rebrand, it was basically a way to honor our journey, to elevate our presence, and to continue to serve our customers with the excellence that they deserve. And hopefully, if you're not a customer, that you deserve. Y'all, but while we were growing and expanding to the Faith House and elevating the look of the brand, God was also already working behind the scenes on something even bigger. Who would have thought? Like, only he can do, right? And, this just reminds me just how intentional he is all the time. Because before I was ever mixing products in the kitchen, before there was a faith shed, before there was a faith house, guess what I was doing, y'all? I was walking the halls of the hospitals and I was doing clinical research. That was my career. And while it's not the same hospitals today, God still brought it full circle, because guess what? Now Strands of Faith products are available in hospitals. Let me tell you how it happened. So again, before, starting Strands of Faith, like, I had a career in clinical research. I worked at the VA hospital in Dallas, Texas, Baylor Hospital in Dallas, both in the cardiology departments. I walked the halls, talked to patients, consented patients to be a part of clinical trials. And, looking back, it's so funny because that actually was like sales, like explaining protocols, showing the patients the benefits, and getting them to say yes. Well, not getting them, not like coercing them to say yes, but explaining the benefits in a way to where they made the sound and logical decision to say yes, that they wanted to sign up. That's basically what sales is. Like, even now, you're explaining your products, the benefits of your products, the results, and allowing people to make the decision if that's something that they need in their hair care routine. Mind you, like, I'm not a salesperson. Like, even right now, like, I usually let the results and things and all that speak for me, because I'm not a salesperson, but it's just still just mind blowing to me and amazing how he was preparing me back then to speaking, just the habit of speaking to people, Again, that was intentional. And I think if you look back and if you look back on your life, the smallest things, you can find areas in where God was intentional and where it's connected to something that you're doing right now. Like I said, you can't see it in the moment, but when you look back in hindsight, it comes together. And that's just one of the things that he was preparing me for, which it makes perfect sense now, but I would have never thought it back then, of course. So even though when I was talking to those patients and consenting to them, even then, God was equipping me with the skills that I would need later in life to run a business. And now, years later, I am walking into hospitals, not literally, but walk into hospitals in a completely different way for a completely different reason. And that's because, again, Strands of Faith products are now in hospitals. Oh my gosh, I shouldn't be this excited. But y'all, if that's not full circle, I don't know what is. Like, that is absolutely full circle and so amazing to me. And how the hospital even came about, like, you won't believe this. Like, you will not believe this story. But a young lady who I don't know, she had been following me for a few years on Instagram, just quietly sitting in the cut, watching my journey. And at the time, her organization was launching a ethnic hair care, skincare category to bring more inclusive products into hospitals, which couldn't have been more perfectly aligned with our mission of serving underserved populations. I see what you did there, God. Okay. So they needed brands to contact, and she gave them my name. I had no idea that she was watching me. And I think the lesson in that is that this is why you just have to show up. Keep showing up. You never know who's watching you. You never know whose God is positioning to be a plug for you, okay? Like, he will use complete strangers to elevate you. Sometimes your biggest blessings will come from people or somebody that you've never ever met in your life. And so that's why I always like to encourage new business owners, you know, when I hear them getting discouraged, like, don't get discouraged when your friends or your family don't support you. Sometimes they're not your target audience. And then sometimes it's just not meant for them to be the ones to bless you. God is going to always place the right people in your path. And complete strangers will literally speak your name in rooms that you haven't yet entered. That's just how amazing and intentional God is with connecting the pieces to your life story, right? So don't worry about none of the stuff that's outside of your control, that you can't control. Don't worry about it. He got you. Trust me, he got you. So anyway, when they reached out to me, you know, at the time, I was kind of like in a rough place mentally. And I'm just like, oh gosh, like, what am I gonna do? So I almost passed the opportunity of y'all. I almost was just like, okay, now it's not the time to just really dive into this. So yeah, but the Holy Spirit, you know, was just encouraging me to push through. So I did that. You know, I showed up to the entrance meeting. I went through the entire application process. I submitted all the necessary paperwork, and I prayed and I just let it be. And then about a few weeks later, I got a video call basically saying, congratulations, you've been awarded this contract to supply hospitals with your product. And y'all, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I mean, what were the words? I was excited, but I'm just like, God, like, dang, like, speechless. Like, okay, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard all the things that God can do for us when we just believe and have faith. Like, that was one of them moments. And y'all, I have stories that I can live on that can build my faith for future. Because even when I have hard times now, I still have to dig and get these faith stories out and be like, remember when God did? Remember what he said? Remember, you know what I'm saying? I be having to snap myself back to reality, because my life is proof that none of this stuff happens by chance, and that he is behind the scenes always working. And so even when I be in the valleys now, or something like present day, something going on, I have to remind myself of that, and to never allow gratitude to escape me, because that always pulls me back in, because I know that my God is gonna come through like only he can do, right? So y'all be getting off track. But anyway, that was such a full circle moment, like so full circle. Like the fact that I used to walk hospital halls as an employee and serving patients and doing clinical research and helping others, to now, years later, having my products being placed in hospital rooms, caring for patients in a whole new way. Like, God took what I was doing with my hands back then, and now he's using my heart. He's using my brand to serve patients in a whole new way. You cannot tell me that God ain't good. You can't tell me that he's not intentional. You can't tell me that God is not real. He wrote the story. He planted every seed. He connected every single dot. And he used a stranger to elevate me in that season. Oh my God, God is good. Keep your head down, do the work. Again, you never know who God is going to use to bless you, to open a door from you, and how it would turn into a testimony for you, a testimony of obedience, a testimony of showing up even when you're tired, okay? I got a lot of those. A testimony of how God goes before you and prepares a place for you. But y'all, let me also say this. While God will send people to elevate you, there will also be some people who will doubt you. people who will come to distract you, people who will try to discourage you, people who will question what God told you. And I'm going to share a story about a person who doubted my vision when I first started. So when I first announced that I was launching Strands of Faith, a young lady in the hair community told me that I would be losing a good chunk of the hair market with this strategy. She said, no strands for Jesus here. No strands for, like, she literally said, no strands for Jesus here, y'all. And mind you, like, when she said the strategy piece, that was just totally lost on me because that was not a strategy for me. This is like my way of life. Like, so I was lost with that piece. But here's what I learned in that process. Like, when God gives you a vision, like, it's not for other people to see. It's for you. It is for you to see, okay? It's for you to believe. It's for you to take the leap. It's for you to obey. If you're wearing glasses right now and you take off your prescribed glasses right now, and you give it to somebody else to put on, just see if they're going to be able to clearly see through your glasses. See if their vision is going to be clear or if it's going to be blurry. I'm pretty sure you already know the answer to that. They're not going to see with the same prescription as you because they're not their glasses to begin with. God didn't create the prescription in those glasses for them. He created it for you. And so you have to be so gung-ho on your mission and your vision that can't nobody shake you. When I think about that time and what she said, and if I had listened to her, if I had second guessed myself, and what if I decided not to launch Strands of Faith, or what if I decided to come up with another name that wasn't in alignment with what God told me, we would not be here right now celebrating our 7-year anniversary. We wouldn't have served over 50,000 amazing customers. We wouldn't have shipped to over 30 countries. We wouldn't have secured major collaborations and contracts. Like, we wouldn't have built the community that we have now. Y'all, people are going to doubt your vision, doubt your dream when they can't understand it, or because they can't see it. They can't understand it. They can't comprehend it. And so if God called you to it, He's going to see you through it. So keep going and keep the faith. Matter of fact, come and keep the faith so that I know that you're going to keep going towards your visions, your goals, your dreams, everything that He put in you. Come and keep the faith so that I know that you believe in your vision just as much as God gave it to you. But you may have the question, and that question may be in your mind, that if what she said was truly valid, like, could using the word faith really be ostracizing? And, I can say this, like, I honestly never once second guessed putting faith in the name of my business because He gave it to me clear as day. And, sometimes people think it's risky to mix faith and business. But for me, faith is my life. Faith is what saved me during my adversities. Faith is what kept me going when I wanted to quit. Faith is the reason you are seeing my face, sitting here talking with you right now. Faith is why I'm still here, y'all. And that's why Strands of Faith is about more than hair care. It's also about the belief, the encouragement to keep going no matter how tough life may get. A reminder that if you have faith, you can overcome anything, everything. And I mean any and everything. You can overcome any and everything with just that small mustard seed of faith. But I also want to say, that at the end of the day, Strands of Faith, we aren't limited to a specific religion. Like, yes, we are rooted in Christian values because that's who I am, but we serve absolutely everybody. Like, if you have textured hair, if your hair is dry, or if you got hair on your head, right? Strands of Faith is for you. It's for you. It's for you. It don't matter if you Black, Hispanic, Asian, multiracial, Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, or any other belief system. If you have texture strands, then we were built specifically for you. Our mission is to create impact and change. Healthy hair plus self-confidence, that's our focus. That's our focus. When you think about Chick-fil-A, Hobby Lobby, In-N-Out Burger, like, these companies are huge companies that have Christian values, but they serve everybody. They're not just serving Christians. They're serving everybody. You probably went to Chick-fil-A earlier today. You're probably gonna go to Hobby Lobby tomorrow to go pick up some frames. If you're somewhere where In-N-Out Burger is, because we don't have one here. Do we have one in Mississippi? I mean, my area? I don't think so, because I would be there. But, you know, you're probably going to In-N-Out Burger. You can't be a true believer anyway if you don't have love. And so, irregardless of what you believe, what you do, your lifestyle, none of that matters with us. Like, we are here to take care of your strands, and we are here to help you keep the faith, okay? That's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. Period. Period. And you know, when I further think about like the big picture, again, like I say this over and over, it's not about here. I guess by the end of this video, y'all would know that. But it's also about opening doors, and it's about showing people, especially our youth, that there are opportunities out there for them that they may not even know that exist for them. Because, you know, like for me, let me tell you, when I was younger, I had no idea that you could build a career in manufacturing, cosmetic science, formulation, you know, like, if I had been exposed earlier, I probably would have realized much sooner that I could combine science and beauty into a career. But for me, growing up in Jackson, Mississippi, which I love Jackson, Jacktown, you know, during that time, you mostly only heard of like careers like lawyer, doctor, nurse, and I didn't find out that there was a whole new world out there until I went to graduate school in Texas. And so that's why I believe that exposure is everything. You cannot aspire to something that you don't know exists.
Right on time, we have the great honor and opportunity to have as a keynote speaker someone who grew up with us here on the campus. And boy, that sounds like I'm old. Because, you know, in 2009, Ameka joined us as part of one of the NIH grants that Dr. Viswanathan just spoke of. And we had this grant, and everyone has grants with great expectations of all of our trainees. And so it's worthwhile that you can actually see this in real life come to fruition when Pat Baker says, I say, Pat, we need a role model speaker. And Pat says, I have the right person for you. And indeed we do. Ameka Coleman is the founder and CEO of Strands of Faith. She's a visionary founder of a clean beauty brand dedicated to nourishing and revitalizing textured hair and cruelty-free, non-toxic, moisture-rich ingredients. Went further to earn a master's degree in clinical research management when she worked under Dr. Latko and Dr. Yervati. And I'd like to highlight this because your thesis was titled Barriers to Recruitment and Retention in Clinical Trials. Such a relevant point now when we speak out into the audience here. We are about health disparities, and we cannot solve health disparity questions without the inclusion of all of us in certain clinical trials. So you were ahead of the game back then, right? So kudos to you for that, leading us on to the next generation of solving or mitigating health disparities in our community. I could go on and on and on, and I probably would love to, but I wanted to highlight some of the scholar activities because it speaks to after you set and establish yourself in a business, you're still that scientist, and particularly in your field. And you continue to publish, you continue to apply for research grants. Most recently, you're the recipient of a $200,000 award to innovate your work. And so very proud to be a part of you as a part of our family. Without further ado, we'll welcome you and learn how you became successful to inspire me and all of us here. So, well.
And, you know, my experience in the scientific research and formulation, product development, that all played a role in my journey to creating Strands of Faith, which is that exposure. And so this is why I'm so passionate about speaking to young people, especially underrepresented youth, our underrepresented youth, about the STEM fields, because I want them to know that there are so many career paths beyond what they may see daily. Science, technology, business, like it can all intersect in such powerful ways. They can use STEM to innovate, to create, to change the world. Whether they want to be, a cosmetic chemist, an entrepreneur, a scientist, like whatever it is, there is a place for them. And this is why I advocate and go so hard for our youth, because representation truly matters. Like when they see somebody who looks like them, who came from where they came from, doing the things that they didn't even know was possible, it helps to shift their perspectives. It plants a seed, and it allows them to see what could be a possible thing for them. And speaking of seeds, over these 7 years, God has been planting and growing some seeds in my own life and in business, seeds that have led to doors opening, awards, recognition, growth. Oh, y'all, but let me tell you, like, it didn't start there. Like all of that, it did not start there.
Hey y'all, today is March the 13th, 2024. I just got awarded with Export Achievement Award. And I got inducted as a new member of the DEC Council. So I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm grateful. I'm excited. But here's the but. But I bet you wouldn't know that I'm currently in one of the toughest, most difficult, hardest seasons of my life. Right now, I feel like I'm at rock bottom. Like, it can't get any lower than this. I'm in the valley of the valleys. If you ever seen a valley, I'm in the one beneath that one. And, I just feel it's very difficult, I'm trying to find the words to put it into, because sometimes we can see other people what appears to be their winning season. They're winning all the awards, they're getting all the accolades, they're making all the achievements, and we're seeing their highlight reel. Because I'm pretty sure by now you've probably seen me post this, right? You're probably thinking, oh man, she just winning. Does she ever stop winning? Winning on winning. But the reality is that I am in one of the most hardest, difficult seasons of my life. And during these moments, it's so difficult to, I'm not going to say want to give up, because when you have a deep-rooted belly purpose, that's what keeps you going. That's what keeps you stable and not wanting to give up. But sometimes the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions and the pressure can become so overwhelming that you're wondering, like, okay, what am I to do? Like, I can't do this on my own. God, you have to come through. Like, at this point, nothing else is possible. You got to come through. I'm leaning on you. I'm depending on you. I'm having faith in you, y'all. When I tell you this is a faith journey and I be saying it, screaming over and over, I don't be messing with y'all. I'm for real. Like, this is a lifestyle. This is something that I believe in. Keeping my faith, having a faith has been the one thing that has saved my life in many different seasons of my life. Saved my sanity, my mind. I feel low right now. I feel the lowest of the lowest. And it's a feeling like, if you've ever felt like you're stuck in a cage, you can't claw your way out. There's no opening. There's no way to get out. You're just stuck and you can't do anything. That's what it feels like. I'm so used to like feeling like I'm rescuing other people. I love pouring into other people. I love just making other people's lives better, right? And I'm in a season where I can't even do that for my own life. Like, it's nothing that I can do for myself to remove this feeling. It's just, God has to do it. It's one of those seasons, God, you got to do it. And it's one of those seasons when I make it out, because I have faith that I'm going to make it out. I have faith that this is going to turn into a testimony. It is going to be a God did it season. It's going to be God did it. God did. But that's why sometimes you see me laughing and smiling and so joyful. It's not that I have joy in those moments. It's just that I have to laugh and smile to keep from crying and to keep from being so overwhelmed. And that's just like my little place of peace, when you feel joyful, even when you don't feel it inside, when you put it on, it helps to bring about that emotion and that feeling and that environment soon enough, so I try to always stay in a state of pure gratitude and just thankfulness. That's what reels me in. Okay, I just been doing too much emotions lately. I'm gonna keep it together. I'm not gonna get emotional, but that's what keeps me that's what keeps me grounded. And just remember my why, my purpose. When you're building something that's bigger than you, that's what keeps you on track to keep going. There are gonna be hard days. Like, that's inevitable. You can't prevent it. You can't stop it. You just have to push through it. What if you can't push through? You just gotta say, God, it's out of my hands. I give it to you. And I know scripture tells us we should not worry and we should cast our cares on him. And scripture is right, yes, but is it always easy to do? No. We're human. We live in the flesh. We have feelings. Feelings aren't facts, though, by the way. I just want you to know feelings are not facts. You can feel what you feel, but that's not a fact. The fact is that he cares for us and he's going to pick up our worries, and things are going to come around. Things are going to turn out exactly how they're supposed to be. We just have to keep pushing in the process, keep the faith, put in the work, and if you're putting in the work, doing everything you're supposed to do, and you're keeping the faith, I don't think he honors that, right? And so even though I'm in the pit right now, I know that I'm going to come out and it's going to be it's going to just be a rejoicing season. So if you are going through your valley right now, just keep pushing. Number one. Number two, when you see people winning online and posting things, never compare your life to theirs. You don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what they've had to endure to get to where they are. So just focus on your life, the path that God has created or ordained for you, because I can guarantee you he made it for you for a reason, right? It's your journey. It's your path. You don't have to look to the left, to the right, or behind you at what the next person is doing, because their journey is theirs and yours is yours. So that's number one. Don't compare yourself to the highlight reels of other people. And number two, we all have valleys. So you just got to keep the faith, man. Just keep the faith. Keep the faith.
It started with me first stepping out on faith, scared as all get out, but just willing to get out of my own way. And because of that obedience, we've had the honor to be a part of some incredible opportunities, multiple accelerator programs that have provided amazing mentorship, several grant programs that have infused some much needed capital, after relying on our own for so long. And I'm just so grateful, so grateful. And some of the awards and recognitions that we've received, H&R Block, Grant, Our Village United, and Higher Purpose Code have mentorships. And then the Good Soil Forum, which I'll talk a little bit more about, Capitus. Every single one of those experiences was a true blessing for me. And it wasn't just about the wins. It wasn't about the recognition. It was literally about those experiences that grew me never before. When you talk about percentage, I'm talking about 10,000%. These experiences have shaped me, molded me, and helped me to grow on a level that I just unfathomable, that I never thought that I could grow into. And so for me, Strands of Faith, this journey has not just been about growing a business. It's literally been about me growing as well, y'all. Entrepreneurship will grow you. The Ameka of 2017, when I first started, is not the Ameka of today who you are watching right now. If you knew me back then and we haven't had any contact, then you don't know me now. You don't know me now, okay? I have transformed, I've evolved, I have leveled up in ways that I never imagined. And again, part of it is because of entrepreneurship. It will challenge you, it will stretch you, it will pull you, it will hold up a mirror to your lack. It will make you face your weaknesses, your fears, your insecurity. It's gonna do all of that.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. This scripture has been the driving force of my life and has helped me to grow farther and do greater things than I ever thought possible. I was born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi, the hospitality state, and it has been an amazing experience. Growing up in Mississippi gave me my go-getter mindset. After high school, I attended Mississippi State, where I received a dual bachelor's degree in microbiology and biological science. Then on to the University of North Texas Health Science Center, where I earned my master's in clinical research management and a master's in business administration. In 2006, I decided to start the journey to return my hair to its natural state and explore my roots. I started an Instagram page to share my journey. I shared my own kinky hair texture in different ways to style my natural hair. I also did tutorials to empower individuals, women, to embrace their natural beauty. This journey took an evolutionary turn of its own when I recognized the lack of effective hair care options for textured hair. And I wanted to make a difference. So I took matters into my own hands. In 2017, I started formulating and testing my own products. In 2018, I launched my business. The name, Strands of Faith, came to me as if the heavens opened up and dropped it in my hands. I found that your faith evolves throughout life as you build your faith, one strand at a time. I started in my kitchen while still working my full-time job. After a year and a half, while pregnant with my third baby and a 2 and 3-year-old at home, I decided to resign from my full-time job as clinical researcher to run my business full-time. This was a huge step of faith for me and a true test of obedience. But God has not failed me yet. Thank you, Jesus. In the beginning, I had to be everything. From the manufacturer to the labeler, packager, shipper, advertiser, social media manager, customer service rep, you name it, I did. Being the CEO of a business is not easy. So you have to be sure to show yourself some grace. You also have to be sure to hold yourself accountable. My family has been the backbone of me starting my business. And I love how I can incorporate them into my business. Passion meeting purpose is what I call it. Not only did I want to help women learn to love themselves better, I wanted to encourage them to have a close, intimate relationship with God, not just a religion. My mission is to end global texturism, promote mental wellness, and encourage self-love, to empower individuals to embrace their natural hair and their unique beauty, to show up and be who God has called them to be. Remember, success is the ability to go from failure to failure without a loss of faith. It's not how your story starts, it's how your story ends. Keep the faith. Who am I? I am Ameka Coleman.
When I first started out, I was very shy, like super shy. Believe it or not, I was shy. A lot of people, when I tell them that now, you know, they give me the side eye, like, girl, stop lying, like, stop playing. But if you knew me back in the day, you truly can attest to the fact that I am literally a totally different person now. Back then, I was more of a behind the scenes person. Like, I didn't want to be the face of anything, you know, with the business. But, you know, I kind of had to, so I had to come out of my shell. I was very introverted, you know, which I still am very much so introverted, but I've learned how to manage it. I didn't like public speaking because, you know, honestly, like, my past traumas like had taken my voice. I had been through so much that I didn't have a voice. I played the back seat to a lot of things, and you know, I didn't want to be seen. Like, truthfully, I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel worthy to be seen. And though I've grown tremendously, y'all, it's still a struggle sometimes. It's still a struggle sometimes. Like growing up, I had strabismus, which is cross eyes. And so that is something that affected me deeply years ago that sometimes still have an effect, you know. I felt different. I felt unseen. I felt unheard. I felt invalidated. I felt like I didn't belong. I felt misunderstood. I felt all the feeling of worthiness that you could feel. I felt, but God. But God, okay? He reminded me that my worth was never tied to how I looked, but it was always in who he created me to be. And so that's why Strands of Faith is so personal to me, because it's about building people up. Because I know what it's like to have needed that. I know what it's like to have needed that. God didn't just give me a business. When he gave me this business, he gave me my voice back. He gave me my voice back. Because in business, you need a voice. You have to be your biggest advocate. You have to speak for your vision, for your impact, for your mission, for the people you're trying to help and the lives you're trying to change. Like, you can't wait for somebody else to speak up for you and to do it for you. And so he did that for me. He gave my voice back, and I'm so forever grateful. And I didn't want to squander that or take it for granted. And so when he gave me my voice back, that's when he started opening doors. And that's when I finally came across and discovered the power of pitching, which is using other people's money to fund my business, y'all. The power of storytelling, using my voice and securing resources to help my business grow. When I first started pitching, I had no earthly idea what I was doing. And up until that point, the first 4 or 5 years, like I told y'all, I was only using my personal savings credit cards and business credit cards and zero outside funding. And that was extremely difficult to manage and to grow that way. And so when I came across pitch, you know, my very first pitch was a virtual pitch, and it was just like, he's like, okay, I'm giving you this opportunity, but that was his way of stretching me and growing another part of me and seeing if I was going to get out of my comfort zone and, you know, and be discomforted for a while I grew. And so I did that pitch in 2022 with Our Village United, and I was so nervous, y'all, but I did end up placing, and I won my first $5,000. That was the little taste of confidence that I needed to get my feet wet. But 2023, I didn't do no pitches. It took me into 2024 last year before I decided to push myself even further. And that's when I decided to do, you know, my very first in-person pitch. And this in-person pitch was in collaboration again with Our Village United, and they collaborated with the Be Good Black Parade. And I was a part of the New Orleans cohort. And so I had to pitch in front of people, y'all, in front of live bodies, in front of people. You hear me? Do you know how nerve-wracking it is to stand up and to talk about your business in front of people? Like, for me, that was the most terrifying thing that I ever experienced. And I understand now. I think they say one of the top 3 fears is public speaking for people. I literally understand it, because I just thought I was gonna vanish in thin air. Like, I was standing up there like, can they see me? Like, I hope they can't see me. I was like a statue, y'all. No, you see how I'm energetic and all this stuff now? No energy, no emotion. I was up there like, hello, my name is Ameka Coleman. I'm the founder of Strands of Faith. I don't even think I was that lively, y'all. It was nerve-wracking. Okay, do you hear me? Yes. Believe everything they said about it. It's nerve-wracking. But the beautiful thing about it is that once you do it, you will get through it. You will live to see another day. Hence, y'all, I'm here, right? You see me. I'm here in the flesh. Okay, I didn't vanish. I didn't go away. I'm here. So you definitely can do it. But y'all, so during that pitch, I won $20,000. And so that helped me to gain even more confidence. And I think like 2 weeks later, I did my second in-person pitch with Higher Purpose, which is a local organization. They are now serving the Mississippi Delta though, but I won $3,000. And so again, another step in building confidence. You see, it's like a a habit you can build. Once you do something over and over, you build it. That's how you build confidence. And so anyway, then the biggest pitch of my life came, the Good Soil pitch competition in Dallas, Texas. This was a Good Soil conference that they host for entrepreneurs, but it had a pitch component hosted by TD Jakes Foundation, Wells Fargo, Stand Together, and it was in Dallas, Texas. And so I had to pitch in front of a live audience. First, we had to go through the process, and I was the top 10 invited to pitch on stage, y'all. Woo, you talk about nerves through the roof, because it was even more people there. It was even higher stakes. It was absolutely like bananas. Like, I can't even believe that I even got through that. But you know what? I showed up. I showed up. I did it afraid. And guess what? I won. I won $200,000 for my business. And wow, even when I think back on it, like, it's always going to be surreal for me. I don't think I'll ever fully process it, because that was just such a, man, like such a God is faithful moment, part of my journey. Oh yeah. Okay, so listen, I got more video to go, so I'm not gonna get emotional, but that was a really that was just a point in time in my life where I feel like God was just like, listen, you've been faithful. You've done everything that I've asked you to do. You've shown up even when even when it was difficult for you to show up, even when it was hard, you did it. And because of that, I'm going to reward your faithfulness and obedience in the open, you know, and you deserve this. It was kind of like him saying, you deserve this. And you know, I've dealt with imposter syndrome the better part of this journey, you know, but in that moment, it was almost like he was making it clear, like, you can't get around this. Like, you've worked hard for this, you earned it, you deserve it. So step in it fully, you know, and feel it and own it. That was such a beautiful day, y'all. It was so surreal to me that when they called my name on the stage, like, I could not even, like, I felt like I couldn't breathe. Like, I was like in such a state of inner shock that I didn't react. I didn't have any emotions. I don't even know how I walked up to accept the check, okay? It was just like that. And the crazy part about it, I knew in my heart that I was going to win. But knowing and believing that you're going to win and then it actually manifests and happen, that's like a total different emotion. And that's why I didn't have no emotions in that moment. I was just like, okay, God, like, thank you. And so I actually documented that part of the journey in real time. I documented when I was applying, when I was manifesting the win. So I'm gonna insert the clip here so that you can see it. So watch this. Okay, y'all, so I just want to document this journey. I am applying for the Good Soil pitch competition. I just found out about it 2 days ago. So I worked on my business plan in like 5 hours to get it ready to submit for the early entry deadline, which was an hour ago. So I got that submitted. Next steps are, the final deadline is June 1st. So I think I have the opportunity to kind of like brush up on it. I have to do a optional pitch video, which I'm gonna film. And then I guess we'll find out who are the finalists that's moving on, you know, after that. But I don't know. This one just feels different. I can't really pinpoint it. It's something in my spirit that tells me that this is it. Like that, number one, I'm going to be a finalist. And then number two, I'm going to win the top prize of $200,000. I'm going to just say that I'll be blessed, doggone it, if I get any of them. I think the lowest price is $50K. The lowest prize. $50K will be a blessing to me, right? I don't have to come in first. Listen, $50K would be magnificent, okay? But anywho, I just want to document this journey. Today is May 15th, now May 16th, because I'm up late. And the actual pitch competitions for the finalists is June 13th and the 14th. So if I make it all the way through, I'll be pitching on the stage in front of some amazing people. I don't even know who they are yet, but I just know it'll be in Dallas.
And so, y'all, this has just been a faith season. This has been a faith season. I've been putting in the work. I've been sowing seeds. This is why I feel like this is so in alignment, right? Because this is the Good Soil Conference. Good soil. If that is not synergy on point, I don't know what is. Y'all already know. I love me some mustard seeds, right? We send them out in every order. So I've been planting seeds since we launched way back in 2018. So it would just be amazing to see all those seeds just produce a harvest in the form of this $200,000 grant. But won't he do it? You talk about faith restored, faith elevated. Not only me, but for you watching this video. Listen. But yeah, I'm sleepy. When I get sleepy, I get even more goofy. But anyway, I'll stitch together the video, let you guys know how the process goes. But irregardless, I just want to encourage you that when God gives you a vision, when he gives you a plan, when he gives you goals, work that thing all the way through down to the bone, baby. What Genuine say? I work my fingers down to the bone. Work it to the bone. Give it all you got. Be a good steward over the resources and the gifts that God give you. Even if your resources are small, if you work what you have and you have faith that he's going to come through like a ram in a bush like he always do, then he's going to come through like a ram in a bush, okay? Anyway, y'all already know what it is. And what I say all the time, keep the faith, baby. Keep the faith. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm keeping the faith.
Y'all, when I look back on that video, I still get chills. Like, God is such a promise keeper. When, again, I was on stage that day, like, he gave me such a peace and a calm that I had never experienced before. But I don't know. I can't summarize fully the experience of that day. It was just so surreal. So
Good Soil Fast Pitch Competition. We have a consumer packaged goods company that has been growing in their businesses to consumer business and has acquired a major business-to-business contract with the largest hospital supply company in the United States, receiving a prize of $200,000, a match with a mentor, and a free PR service from Sensei Communications. Give it up for Strands of Faith.
So I'm gonna move on, y'all, because I know I've stayed on this part for so long. But I just want to say that God is so faithful. God is so faithful. Being on that stage was confirmation that every step of faith, every uncomfortable moment, God, are you sure? Like, did you say that? Are you sure? Are we going to do this? Like, are we really doing this? Like that, it's just really reminded me that not only is God a promise giver, he is a promise keeper. But none of that would have happened if I hadn't started, if I hadn't had faith, if I hadn't moved my feet, if I had let my fear to overcome me and to overtake me, I would have missed out on all the opportunities that God had for me, you know? And so that's why I had to challenge myself. I had to push past my comfort zone. I had to stop telling myself that I can't do this, or, you know, I don't deserve this, or that's not for me, or, you know, all the things that we tell ourselves when we in our head. Like, I wasn't confident when I started, but one thing I've learned is that confidence comes from taking action. Like, you don't have to be born with confidence. Confidence is something that is learned. And the more you step out on faith, the more you do the hard things, the more you get out of your way, the more confident you're going to become. And so as I'm just reflecting on my own journey, I want you to promise me that you're going to bet on yourself and do whatever hard things you need to do to build your confidence, because your confidence is going to be the thing that is going to help to elevate you and to help you to step into the things that God is calling you to do. Promise me that you're going to do that for yourself. It don't take much. Baby steps. Just start a day at a time. That's what I say, a day at a time. I can't end this video without giving the the proper thank yous, but I first want to give some encouragement because, you know, I love some encouragement, y'all, and you know, all the things. And so firstly, to my aspiring business owners, I just want to let you know that if God gives you a vision, don't sleep on it. Don't let it go to waste. Don't, you know, take the first step. Trust him that he's going to guide you along the way. You may not have all the answers. You may not have all the tools, or you may not even have the confidence, but just start. Like, it don't matter if the industry feels saturated or if it is saturated or what people say. Nobody can do what you do the way that you do it. Your experiences, your creativity, your ideas, like those are all unique to you. Had I told myself that there are already so many hair brands out there and so I shouldn't start, I would not be in front of you making this video today. If God called you to it, whatever he called you to, guess what? He's going to see you through it. So this is your confirmation to take the leap of faith and do it. Tell me you're going to do it. Let me know you're going to do it. Comment, I'm going to do it, because it's yours to do it. You got this. My current and established business owners, like, listen, sis, bro, listen, I feel you. I see you. I know that this journey is indeed not for the faint of heart, because you know, and I know entrepreneurship is going to test you. It's going to try you. It's going to have you crying one day and celebrating the next, okay? You're going to experience the highest of the highest and the lows of the lows. But remember your why. Why did you start? Why did God call you to do this? Why did he equip you for the mission? It was for a reason, you know? When those valleys get low, when they get deep, your why is going to be what keeps you grounded. Yes, business has its ups and downs, ebbs and flows. Trust me, I've learned this myself over the past 7 years. But you have to resort back to your why to keep you going and to keep you pushing. But listen, at the same time, if you need a break, step back and take a break. Do it. I'm currently on a social media fast right now for that very reason. And it has honestly been the most peaceful, refreshing thing for my mental health. And, you know, at first I struggled with it because I thought, like, okay, I need to be present. Like, I need to show up. I got a business and all of that. But guess what? I haven't missed a beat. God is honoring my obedience. Obedience is always better than sacrifice. So do what you need to do for you. Take care of you and trust that God will make a way and that he's gonna make a way like he always do. Okay. To business owners who have had to pivot or who have had to close down recently, listen to me clearly when I say this. You are not a failure. You are not a failure. Sometimes in life, you know, seasons come to an end, but that does not mean that you have failed. Every experience, every skill, every connection that you've developed is still a part of your journey. And you are now equipped, you know, with more knowledge, more wisdom, more resilience to step into whatever next chapter is waiting for you. And your impact, which is most importantly, don't just disappear just because your business has shifted. Like, you should be so proud of what you built, what you've accomplished, what you've done, what you've learned, the impact you've created. Like, you are not defined by a business title. You are defined by your purpose. And that purpose doesn't just go away just because. That purpose is here to stay with you. So show yourself grace. You are amazing. You did the work. You did it. Like, oh my gosh, you did it. That is something to be so proud of and so grateful. And I just know that God is going to continue to sustain you and to keep you on whatever path and journey that he takes you on. So just remember that. If you don't remember nothing else, you are not a failure. It's impossible for you to be a failure when you step out there and take the leap of faith and try something and do something and build something and create something. Man, if you ask me, you're a genius, okay? You are brilliant. You're doing something that the majority don't do, or that the majority didn't do. So let that count for something. Show yourself some grace, love. Show yourself some grace. My camera stopping, dogs barking, kids in the background calling me. Y'all, I think it's about time for me to wrap the video up. But anyway, I also wanted to just really speak to the people who, like, if you're struggling with anything in life right now, like if you feel like life has been so hard and like no matter what you do, you keep falling, like you can't catch a break. I know what that feels like, and you take one step forward and then you get knocked back down too. You try to stay positive, but life keeps throwing you all type of curveballs. You're feeling stuck, you're overwhelmed, you're unsure if things are going to ever get better. Listen, like, get back up. If you fall 9 times, get up the 10th time. If you feel like quitting, keep going. Just keep going. Life is going to always have its ups and downs. There's always going to be something going on. But at the same time, every single time, there's always going to be a breakthrough on the other side. The sun always come after a storm. I have never seen a storm where the sun did not come afterwards. So don't give up. Do not give up. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep the faith. You got this. Say this out loud with me. I will keep going. I will keep pushing. I will keep the faith. And then comment below and let me know that you're going to keep going. That's all I want to know, is that you're going to keep going. When you commit to pushing forward, you are declaring over your life that you are not giving up. Can't nothing stop you, you know? And just so you know, I see you. I believe you. I'm praying for you. I'm rooting for you, okay? Like, for real, for real. Even through this camera on the other side. The energy, I know you feel it. Woo, y'all got me so fired up. Like, oh my gosh. Like, but listen, I cannot end this video without saying thank you. This journey would not have been possible without you. You guessed it. Who? My blesties. My blesties. Like, y'all keep me going more than I know. The messages, the comments, the love, the emails, the support, it all means the absolute world to me. Every single day, you know, you motivate me to wake up, to do what I do. Like, every product we make it for you. Every piece of content we create it for you. This isn't just about me. This isn't just about Ameka. This is about impact, about people, community, and the purpose that God has placed on my heart. And I just want to let you know that you are absolutely the center of it. You are the center of it. Thank you so much for investing in and buying our products, for referring us to your family, your friends, your loved ones, for spreading the word about Strands of Faith. Like, it warms my heart every time I, hear somebody say, oh, I told my mom about your product, or, or my cousin, she loved your brand. We are not a big, huge corporation with $1 million advertising budgets. Like, our marketing, y'all, is still grassroots. Pretty much. It's grassroots. Like, everything you see marketing wise, that's 1,000% me. You are the reason that we grow. You are the reason that we're celebrating 7 years today, y'all. Clap it up for that. Give yourself a hand clap. Again, I can't thank you enough, because it's hands down because of you. Because of you and God. Because of y'all. It's because of y'all. And for my OG supporters, I'm wondering, like, do y'all remember when we were trying to come up with a name for y'all? And at first it was the Faithers, like Faithers, hey Faithers. But then in the Faith Tribe, the Facebook group, y'all helped us come up with the name Blesties. And that was just a play on besties, because, we're all blessed, right? So we became Blesties. So anyway, again, to all of my Blesties, thank y'all so much. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are phenomenal, okay? I also want to thank every organization that has believed in us, who have invested in us, supported our mission, our vision, who has sown into Strands of Faith with your resources, your time, which your time is the most expensive, your effort, your finances. Thank you for choosing to invest in us when, we very well know that you could have invested in somebody else. And so I am forever filled with gratitude. I am beyond blessed, beyond thankful. If y'all ever need anything, I am here. I'm a resource for you, just as you've been a resource for me. I'm actually currently a mentor, for the organization now who have sown into me. And it just always gives me so much joy, great joy to pour back in whatever way I can. So again, thank y'all so much. thank you. Thank you for seeing me. Thank you for seeing SOF. Like, thank you. I also want to take a moment to shout out my amazing team, the A team, because SOF would not be what it is without the team, okay? We are small, but we are mighty, okay? When I say mighty, I mean mighty. And, I know y'all probably be thinking like, dang, they have a huge team. They have a lot of help, but nope, it's a small but powerful team, and we really get it done. And, my team is the backbone of our company. They encourage me, they motivate me, they keep me going, even when they don't know it. So I thank God for them. You may know Nene. She's more on the front end with the Facebook Face Tribe group. So she's more forward facing, and you've probably interacted with her the most. So love Nene and all that she do. Our manufacturing and shipping team. Y'all, I was making products by hand all the way up into 2020. In our first 7-figure year, I made every single product by hand myself, y'all. I kid you not. When I look back on that, like, that was nothing but the Holy Spirit carrying me, because I have no idea to this day how I was even able to do that. But now I'm so grateful, and I'm so blessed to have a team that has taken over that process and does it so flawlessly, so effortlessly, so amazingly. And, now I can focus on other things, more so like the marketing I was telling y'all about earlier. So I'm just so grateful for my team. I cannot overstate it. Mrs. Catchings, Mr. Davis, Mrs. Young. Thank y'all so much for everything. Thank you. And also to any agencies that we've worked with throughout the years who's had a hand or played a role into building Strands of Faith. Thank you as well. We really appreciate you. Here's the thing, like, behind every small business like Strands of Faith, there is a team of real people who are working hard, putting their hearts into the mission, into the product, every order, the emails, the packages you receive. And that's why supporting small Black-owned businesses, women-owned businesses, and small businesses is so powerful, because when you support businesses like ours, you're not simply just buying a product. You're actually investing in people, into families, futures, communities, environments. And, when you support Black-owned, especially one like mine, like, you're helping us to hire from within our communities, to fund innovation and creativity that often gets overlooked. You circulate your dollars within businesses that serve us and reflect us. And most importantly, you help to keep independent indie brands alive that is dominated in the world by, big, large, major corporations. And so again, when you support a small Black-owned business, you are making a real impact. Again, for us, I say it over and over, we don't have $1 million investors behind us. We don't have the marketing budgets of the big brands. But what we do have is a strong community that believes in us. And that is why every single sale we make, every share that you share, every referral matters, y'all. It matters. Nothing goes to waste. So shameless plug, I hope you guys support us for our 7-year anniversary and invest in a product for yourself, for your loved one. We would greatly appreciate it. It goes so far for us. We are grateful for every single cent. 50% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. We are blessed to be in year 7, and God willing, we'll have many more. So I don't take that lightly. I'm so grateful. And, with all the DEI changes that's happening, minority businesses are already seeing the impact. Like, it's already affecting a lot of businesses. Like, many of the grants, the resources, the opportunities that once supported minority business owners are now disappearing, going ghost. And so that's why I believe now more than ever that it is so important to support your local small business owners. Small businesses are the lifeline of our communities. And it's because of you that we're the reason it's because of you that you're the reason that we're able to continue to do what we do, like all small businesses. And so, we definitely, it goes without saying, need your support. We appreciate your support. I'm pretty sure all small businesses appreciate your support, but I just say it from me. We appreciate your support. We don't take it for granted. So, y'all, this was really good. And I honestly can't even believe that I had the confidence to record this video, because a few years ago, this would have been very hard for me to do. But here I am, and I want you to know that growth is possible. Change is possible. You are capable of doing hard things, okay? As I was reflecting on this 7-year journey, something just really hit me. And y'all know I always gotta bring it back to faith, because this journey has been nothing but faith from day one. It's been nothing short of faith. And so, for this being year 7, I realized that the number 7 is not a random number. Like, numbers in the Bible are so significant. 7 represents completion, divine perfection, holiness. It's a sign that something is being fulfilled and brought into alignment with God's plan. He created the earth in 7 days. And right now, y'all, it feels like Strands of Faith is just full circle. I've shared so many things with y'all about how it's been such a full circle moment over these last 7 years. And these last couple of years, I just feel like, everything has been coming together, and I'm just so grateful. Even though I have still had ups and downs, and I just know that wherever he takes us from here, I'm just going to continue to trust him. But then also another thing that hit me is that, y'all, this year I am turning a big 40. Woo, 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 woo. And 40 is also another significant number in the Bible. 40 represents testing. It represents trials, preparation. Noah had to endure 40 days and nights of the rain. The Israelites, they wandered for 40 years. And Jesus even fasted for 40 days in the wilderness. And so when I think about it, I've personally even had my own 40 years of testing, perseverance, resilience. I won't say it's been 40 years of but I've definitely had my own share of storms, my own challenges. But, something about this year 2025, it just feels different. It feels like God is restoring me, renewing me. It feels like I'm stepping into a new version of myself. I feel more confident. I feel more aware, more conscious. And it's just something that I can't just really explain. Like it's truly spiritual. I feel like this is my season of breakthrough. I feel like this is my season of promise. Like, my promises are on the way. They're right around the corner. When I look at these last 7 years, like, it's not just a business anniversary for me. Like, I see this as a completion of a season. I see God preparing me through every test, every struggle that I had with my self-esteem, with my confidence, with my worth. And I see God showing me, like, my daughter, well done. You have come together beautifully. You are whole. Walk away from those insecurities that no longer define you. You are now, I'm calling you something new. You are now confident. You are whole. You are worthy. You are loved. You are all the things that you never thought you were. That's what the 7-year mark of completion has done for me. It feels like a personal season of completion, alignment, and turning 40 is just that perseverance. It's coming through and stepping into the new me. So I'm just so grateful. I am so thankful. Sometimes we get so focused on trying to rush through life and rush through the trials and the things we experience. But the pruning season is where God works. That's where he prepares us for all the things that he has for us that are for us ahead. And so what these 7 years have taught me is that faith works, obedience works, and God's timing is always perfect. And so I just wanted to share that, because I know, somebody watching right now is in their 40 season, their season of testing and their trials and their challenges. But I want to tell you that your 7 is coming, your season of completion, healing, wholeness, all of that is coming. And life comes in seasons. And so you may be 40 season, one season, 7 season on another season, coming off the tail or whatever. But just know that God is always working behind the scenes, and that what's for you won't miss you, and that all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his plan and purpose for your life. Okay? And before I go, I just want to cover you in prayer. I am praying for abundance over your life. I am praying for fruitfulness, prosperity, and most importantly, wisdom. I am praying that God leads you, that he directs you, and that he strengthens you. I pray that you remain faithful, and that because of your faithfulness, he gives you even more. I want to let you know that you are seen, you are loved, you are not alone. And from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for being on this 7-year journey with us. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for trusting Strands of Faith. Thank you for your love, for your support, for your encouragement, for your prayers, for seeing me and for seeing us, okay? Again, every single product that I create, every video I post, everything I do is for you. I say that and I mean it, okay? Because you are the reason why we're here. So let's celebrate together. Let's celebrate together. I have a special discount code for y'all if y'all want to support us for our 7-year anniversary. Celebrate 7 years of faith, and hopefully also you've gotten a lot of other things from this video. So if this video has blessed you in any way, please share this with your friends, your family, the aspiring entrepreneurs who's afraid to take that leap of faith to start, the business owner who's established and thinking about giving up, the mom who is balancing her dreams and motherhood, and she knows there's more to life that she wants. Even the person, walking through a tough season right now, trying to hold on, because that's all of us, okay? Just share this with people, share this video with a friend, tag a friend, and just let's keep the movement and the good energy going, because when we show up in faith together, there's nothing that we can't do. Thank y'all so much for everything. And if you stayed to the end of this long documentary that I lost my mind to put together, thank you. And also, if you did stay to the end, comment and let me know that you stayed to the end. Comment and let me know that you stayed to the end. I really appreciate you more than you know. Keep the faith.
Mississippi State Parks, where nature's beauty meets comfort, relaxation, and our exclusive new handcrafted soap. Made in Mississippi with care and inspired by the lush landscapes of our parks, our soap is now available in rental cabins, lodges, and camp stores. Whether you're exploring park trails or unwinding under the open sky, let Mississippi State Parks soap elevate your experience.
First talked a couple months ago. You were in process of creating some really cool things, trying to get out there and get some funds for your business, and I'll be doggone if you didn't just grab $200,000 from a major competition.
Yes.
How does that feel right now?
Honestly, I'm still trying to process it. It feels super overwhelming, but I am so grateful. It's like, man, I can't put it into words. It's like a dream come true, and I'm just filled with gratitude and excitement.
Now, Strands of Faith and the Good Soul, forum, all these things, it just all kind of lines up so perfectly. And what also lines up perfectly is that you've also documented the journey.
Yes.
And so you just posted a video on your Instagram the other day talking about you before you went to this competition. Can you tell people what you were saying in that video?
Yes, actually in the video, I was just being prophetic, and I didn't know I was being prophetic. Well, kind of, but I was believing. I prayed for this, I believe God for this, and I received this, and lo and behold, I get on stage and first place winner. And so it was just such a beautiful feeling to see his reminders just being presented in real time. And so, man, amazing.
Wow. And then when I look at your hair right now, I'm thinking amazing too, because it's got more bounce to the ounce and all the things.
Yeah.
So what made you create a line in the first place? And what was the problem with your own hair that you were trying to solve?
Yeah, so actually when it comes to textured hair products, over 50% contain toxic ingredients like parabens, paraffins. Those type of ingredients lead to hormone, endocrine disruptors, and cancer. And so for me, I wanted to create products that were clean, beauty, and that would keep my hair moisturized for more than one day at a time to help me retain my moisture and my length. And so those were two of the main things that prompted me to create my line.
Okay, so now when you think about looking at I just want to ask you this actually. Do you look at other people's hair and say, you know what, you could probably use this clay mask? Or you can, because
I don't, but my dad do. He is notorious about that. Oh my gosh, the amount of people that hit me up and I saw your dad at the gas station, and he was like, you need to use these products. And I'm like, you can't just be walking up to people. So I don't, I just put the information out there, and then I'll let people decide if they need to purchase our products or use our products, and then they come to us. So Yes.
Gotcha. So not even if you just have textured hair, it's something pretty much for everybody.
Yeah, so textured hair, including like kinky, curly, coily, wavy, that's our main focus because those hair types tend to be a little bit more drier, and like the sebum production from the scalp has a harder time making its way to the ends of the strands, and so our products help to just rebalance and enhance the moisture levels.
Amazing. Now you also continue with the Strands of Faith because if you're gonna do this, right, you should keep going with the the whole deal.
Yeah.
And you give mustard seeds away in every purchase item.
Every single
And you can barely even see it in there, but it's in there.
It's in there. Yes. So we send this out to every customer. It says, may this serve as a reminder that you can and will move mountains if you just have a little bit of mustard seed faith. And we've been super blessed to have these seeds go to all 50 states and well over 30 plus countries. And so that's what made the competition so special, is because we've been planting these seeds all over these years. And then look, it produced a harvest in the form of $200,000. So won't he do it?
Yes, he will. I'm trying to stop myself from asking you to let me hold $1. But it's just amazing. Like, what else can we do as a community to support you? Because you're making this right here in our own backyard.
As a community, first of all, what you can do to help support, so our mission is actually much bigger than hair products. We are on a mission to end texturism, which is hair type discrimination, whereas like kinky hair like mine generally isn't seen as like beautiful or the standard. And so we believe that all strands are beautiful and should be celebrated, which is why we as a state need to get the Crown Act implemented here, which is a law that it's basically race-based hair type discrimination, and so it's already been implemented in 20 plus states. It's not yet implemented in our good old state of Mississippi, and so we're gonna get on the forefront of change and make it happen, right, Mississippi?
Maybe we can with a little strand of faith, with a little mustard seed. You never know. But you are giving away, so we're gonna give away a mustard seed for the folks at home. Okay, WJTV.com/upload right now. I need you to take a picture, post for the folks.
Oh, pose.
Okay, and you can get the mustard seed. But now also, you have a code for the viewers?
Yes.
All right, tell them about it.
You can visit www.strandsoffaith.com. Use code WJTV for 25% off your entire purchase.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited for you. This is major. And listen, whenever you can get the hair down here, just let me know. But the question of the day, for right now is, what is an unpopular opinion you have?
An unpopular opinion for me is that straight hair is not the standard of beauty. And what I mean by that, you can choose to wear your hair straight, kinky, curly, coily, or whatever, and however you choose to wear your hair, that is the standard of beauty.
Come on now. Give them all the information. All right, well, we're going to go to break. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're back in a few.
Yes.
Ameka immediately tonight showed us that she is definitely a great selection for Women for Progress in the sample and really define what Women for Progress means. Because when Angela couldn't make it tonight, I walked over to her and I didn't ask her. I said, now this is what we want to do. And she said, okay. I said, whoa, that's
Never would have imagined I would be standing here in front of people speaking, and this whole journey has like prepared me, along the way. Like when you become a business owner, you have to step outside of yourself and become something that you've never ever been before, which is a very intimidating process. But when it comes to like faith in business, like when I first started, I knew that I wanted that to be an element and a pillar and a foundation of my business, because just how much God has been so good to me, and He's kept me throughout my journey ministry in the marketplace. Like I didn't initially start a business to be ministry in the marketplace, but that's kind of like when something's a lifestyle for you and it's embedded in you, it just shows up that way. And so faith the size of a mustard seed.
She give every one of her customers get a mustard seed, and she said you may just serve as a reminder that all you need is faith the size of a mustard seed, and you can and will move mountains. So then she got the card, her little thank you card. This a hair wrap when you wash your hair.
Yeah, Molly got plenty of them.
Take it to dry your hair. Then you open it up and you got your products.
Oh.
So in there, she got a devotional. And in her devotional, can't show everybody. She got that. She saying, you got the oil. You got the refresher, the leave-in conditioner, the moisturizing cream, the deep treatment, the twisting butter, the miracle clay. It's a bracelet like the one I got. It say living my blessed life. Wow. This her shampoo bar to wash her hair with.
Oh.
She got everybody a comb.
That's where you get them combs from.
And then you got a mist bottle. This something new she gave up.
Oh.
You put water in it and you can spray your hair.
So your hair gonna be laid under the wigs, Granny.
What is this?
You want that?
What is this?
Is it too big for me?
It should be.
I think it's too small.
You should be.
Living my blessed life. Our hair is going to grow again. Living my blessed life.
The mustard seed, Chris.
What's a mustard seed?
Remember what we talked about church? Tell them why.
Hey y'all, so what came in the mail today is Living My Best Life box by Strands of Faith. It is jam-packed with natural hair products that I live by. It locks the moisture in my hair and it just keeps it alive. So anyways, I also wanted to share with you what living my best life means to me. Living to be at peace with God and also yourself. To find yourself content in any situation or circumstance that comes your way. Best means the highest degree, most excellent, it's effective, best, living your best. And then life, you're breathing, you're having the activities of your limbs, the course of human interaction or activities, things that go on, that's life. So live your best life. Don't worry about circumstances that you can't even control. You worry about the response that you give life, that you give interactions on a day-to-day basis. Live your best life.
Hey y'all, I'm participating in the What Does Living Your Blessed Life Mean to You challenge, which was put forth by Ameka Coleman, who is the CEO of Strands of Faith. Strands of Faith is a natural hair product, and I am a natural, and I have been using her products for a very long time, probably as long as they've been out, if I'm not mistaken. So this is the box, and it has lots of goodies. I'll show you a few. And so in the challenge, she would like for us to tell you what living your blessed life means to you. And for me, it is walking 100% in my truth. And by walking 100% in my truth, I mean that I'm confident in Trishina. I understand that Trishina cannot please everybody. I used to be a people pleaser. I just wanted everybody happy with me. I didn't want any enemies. And that's impossible. I don't care how nice you are, how sweet you are, how giving you are. There are some people who will just not like you. And that is not your issue. If you walk 100% in who you are living your blessed life. I am still a very loving person, but I love Trishina so much more than I ever did in the past. I care about my mental health. I care about emotional, how I'm doing. I care about my physical. I care about my spiritual. And I understand that if I do what is deep within Trishina, I will not please everybody. Impossible. And so at 35 years old, I am 100% unapologetic about being who I am. I try to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but what I am saying is that whatever I do, I am okay with other people not agreeing with it. And so I tell my kids that I was like, babies, You can have friends, you're going to probably fall out with them, but you have to walk 100% in who you are and what you feel deep down in you. And so just know that those people who dislike you or don't agree aren't necessarily against you, but you don't have to transform to whatever it is that they disagree with. Now, if they give you an option, or, not necessarily an option, if they present something to you that you feel is good and can help you be a better person, then of course implement it. But don't ever change who you are to try to please somebody else. So, pretty much that's it. So, living my blessed life is walking 100% in my authority, my truth, unapologetically, understanding that I cannot please everybody. It is not my job to please everybody. I can just be Trishina, and as long as Trishina is happy, then the rest of you may fall where you fall, but I will love you, whether it's close or from afar. So, anyway, I hope that this helps somebody.
Pandemic, living my blessed life means that I choose to keep the faith in God. I am trusting Him and speaking positive affirmations over myself, my family, and my friends. I am blessed. I am healthy. I am strong. I am successful. I am an overcomer. I am wise, and God is in control of my life. I am super excited about my hair journey. I started using Strands of Faith hair products in October 2019. It is now April 2020, and I have seen amazing results in such a short time frame. I absolutely love Strands of Faith hair products, and they have definitely added to the blessings in my life. Always remember, let your faith be bigger than your fear.